Hi everyone, right, today I'm going to go through running. So we're going to cover running. I'm going to give challenges depending on whether you're a beginner, whether you're intermediate, or whether you're advanced, whether you're pretty good at running already. So I'll talk you all through it. I'm just well aware that some of you haven't even got started with running and being stuck indoors all day. I know Forest Fitness is quite a good bit of you time anyway, so I'm trying to give you some of that back by helping you run and make the most of that. One bit of exercise outside the house you're allowed a day, even if you don't have a dog. Like this little chappy here. Then it's good to get outside, and you should be making the most of it, even if it's just a walk. But I want you to try some running, right? So let me break it down for you. I'll flip it round, see if it lets me. In fact, it won't, so I'll show you. So beginners, where are we? There we are. So 3K maximum. You don't really want to be going further than that. In fact, let me go down to this first. So breaking it down, the reason I'm doing beginners first is because a lot of you will make mistakes, these mistakes. So common running mistakes, going too fast. A lot of you will just set off and just try and run for 3K. And yeah, you might be able to do that, but chances are you're probably going to be really sore if you've never run before or never run that far before. You're going to be in absolute agony, and running won't be fun. You won't enjoy it. You won't be able to just go out and do it casually. You'll treat it as a form of torture, which a lot of people do. So avoid going too fast, and again, avoid trying to run the whole time, because if you're trying to run for the whole 3K and you're only used to doing like a lap of the field at Forest Fitness, which is, even the whole field is like just under half a K. So if you're not used to it, don't run the whole time. No more than 30 minutes either. Lack of a warm up and cool down, so I've got you a warm up and cool down there, so I hope you can see that. There you can. So yeah, some floor touches, some hip openers. Here you go. So floor touches, hip openers. What else we got? Squats, hamstring brushes. So hamstring brushes, one leg out in front of the other, trying to brush the floor like so. So 10 of each. And then 10 kickbacks. So on the kickbacks, you can either hold on to something, I'm going to use my elbow, and kick back. So just trying to warm up your glute. It's quite hard to get them firing just whilst jogging, but if you do it beforehand, they should be activated and ready to go, and that again should help take some of the strain off your knees and avoid injury, which all of this is trying to avoid. So make sure you're warming up using them, make sure you're cooling down. So on the cool downs, if you're a beginner, walk to the finish. So let's say you've managed to run, I don't know, well, going by this, we're going to run for 1 minute on and then just rest as you need. So let's say you've run almost all the 3K, make sure you're finishing on a walk rather than finishing on a full sprint home, because otherwise you're going to come home, sit down on the sofa and just, again, be in agony and potentially injure yourself. So even if it's not the same day as the run or on the run, you could injure yourself just from being super tight the following days. So try and finish slowly. So build up into the middle of the run. So on kilometre 2, if you're doing 3K total, kilometre 2 should be your hardest work effort, and then taper down and make it easier and easier. So yeah, on this one, so I've done warm up and cool down. Yeah, I'll cover cool down later on. But yeah, for beginners, just 1 minute. 1 minute on. It doesn't have to be super quick. Again, you want it to be like a slow plod, so just faster than walking. Any slower and you'll be walking. Any faster and you might be pushing yourself a bit too much. So start just plodding. You can increase your time as you go. You've got weeks and weeks of potentially trying to get good at running. And I want you guys to be smashing some races. Get down. What do you want in there? You want to eat the toilet roll again, do you? No. Right. So yeah, 1 minute on, rest as much as you need. Time it just so you know roughly what you're doing. So if you're doing 1 minute on and then you notice you've done like 4 minutes, that's probably a bit too much. So maybe 1 minute on, 1 minute rest, maybe 2 minutes if you need, but just be aware of what it is, and then as you go, you can improve on that until you can run just 3K in one hit. But don't try and do it straight away. Once you can, or some of you are already at this stage where you can just smash out 3K or 30 minutes and slightly more than 3K, you might be on the 4 or 5k mark around that time, then you'll be in the intermediate section. So for intermediates, if you can run 4 to 8k, my challenge for you is starting off, first kilometre, brisk walk, slow jog. So starting slow, throw in a few of these dynamic stretches again. Just so literally stop, do some dynamic stretches once you've got full on sweat on. Again, just going to help avoid injury. Second kilometre, start actually jogging, keep it slow. Third one though, so have a little rest. Third one I want you to absolutely attack. So the idea being it's almost like a repeat, which I'll cover on the advance, but a bit less distance and not as many. So on the intermediate it'll be like 1 or 2 quick kilometres. So let's say your third one is fast, fourth one even faster, so you're trying to beat kilometre 3 there. So you go third really quick, fourth kilometre try and go even faster, and then if you can get any more than 4, try and just keep beating it all the way up to 7, and then walk for the last 8, or just slow it right down, so by the time you walk back to your front door you're nice and slow. Okay, so I think that covers it. Yeah, on to advanced. So advanced, we're going to go with repeats. I don't know if you can see that, there's some reflection going on. Let's come this way a bit. There you go, that'll do. So if you can run 10k fairly easily, or you've done this maybe a few times and you're watching this video in a couple of weeks or whatever and you're a bit more advanced, then have a go at this. So you don't necessarily have to run 10 kilometres. I'm just saying if you can run 10 kilometres, have a go at repeat. So repeat, similar to what we were doing there. You're warming up in a similar way, so start off slow, get quicker. Once you're really warm and you're feeling good and you're ready to push yourself, you should know, if you can run that far, you should know roughly what your split times are. So how fast you normally run a kilometre. So for me, if I'm running about 10k, I guess that I'm about a 6, so about 6-minute kilometres. In fact, I'm not guessing, I know I'm around the 6-minute kilometre mark. So for repeats, I want to be at a 5-minute kilometre, maybe slightly less, maybe 4.5 if I'm really pushing it. And the idea is you're putting your heart rate in a higher zone. So if I can do 6 minutes for 10k, I can't do, just my heart rate will be too high. If I'm doing a 5-minute kilometre, my heart rate will be too high to sustain that for more than 1 or 2 kilometres. So the idea behind this is you're at that faster than race pace. So let's come back around here. So 1 or 2 kilometres faster than race pace. Walk for 500 metres to a kilometre. You might need massive amounts of rest here. Repeat as needed. So you might only need to do, 3 or 4 1 kilometre splits. You might want to do 3 or 4 2 kilometre splits, but repeats. So yeah, you want that 1 or 2k really quick, then rest. Another 1 or 2k really quick, and then rest. And again, depending on what you need, what you want, you'll probably be dying at some point after that because they're tough. But it's one of the best ways of just improving your time on a 10k, that sort of thing, even a 5k, which is what I'm doing over here. So yeah, repeat as you need. Throw in a couple of sprints if you want. So once you've done the repeats and you're like, I just don't want to run for another 1 or 2 kilometres really quick, just go for a sprint for 20 seconds. Just count in your head. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about anything else. It'll do you good. And for me, just obviously playing basketball and stuff like that, that's the sort of thing I want to do and I like to do. So I find it helps just for me and sport. So you can do that if you want. If you've got hills, can't see it, there we go. If you've got hills, try and do the same thing, just up and down the hill. So sprint up the hill. Hopefully it takes about 20 seconds or maybe 30, maybe 40. Walk back down. If you need a breather at the bottom, have a breather and then go back up again. Once you've done all that and you're pooped, you should, if you're a good enough runner, be able to just slow jog home. Right? So don't ruin yourself 10 kilometres away from home. Try and do it at the midpoint and then slowly jog home if you need. If you're either at risk of injury or just everything starts seizing up, or you just start getting DOMs, that sort of thing. They are brutal, and repeats, if you haven't done them before, will hurt. Even if you can run 10k quite easily, it's a different ball game doing repeats. So have a go. That's my challenge to you, good runners, intermediate runners, beginners. Just get out there, make the most of this. Well, I say that. Make the most of this okay weather today, and hopefully good weather in the future. Now we're coming around to spring. And what else have I missed? I missed the cool down. So cool down, just generally walk to finish. To stretch, you need to stretch calves, quads, hamstrings and hips. So the easiest way to stretch your calves, in my eyes, is foot against here, or any wall, and then just lean up. So you're trying to close the angle between your toes and your shin. And you know, you might need to hold it for up to a minute. If you've been on a real tough run, hold it up to a minute, especially if you're tight there anyway. Next one is just lower down. So just bending your knee. So same thing, just bend the knee, and what that'll do is get lower down your Achilles, so it'll get your soleus rather than your gastroc, which is the bigger bit. So you're stretching this bit as soon as you bend your knee. So yeah, again, up to a minute if you need, both legs. For quads, just, I mean, you could do it standing. I'll show you, maybe I'll do another stretching video as like just a bonus. So I'll show you some good quad stretches and hamstring stretches and stuff. But yeah, hamstrings, fold down, touch your toes, trying to keep your legs straight. And hips, so hips, I'll try and demo that in the mirror if I can. I mean, we do this at Forest Fitness all the time, but either you can open out, where can I get that angle? Let's go this way. So open out like that, fold down, and just try and get your leg as far away from you as you can. Stretch your groin out like that, and then you can sit just further and further back into it. Also, just folding down, and let me, where's a good angle? Here we go.